Okay, all right, this one, we're going to solve quadratic equations. This really should be a review, except the only thing now is that last term, that c, is going to be a negative. So I'm going to have mixed signs. I'm going to have like an x plus and an x minus. Now, a little review, when we're solving, this is what we want. We could only solve, and we could only set the factors equal to 0 when the whole equation is equal to 0. So number one, review, 1 and 2, they're already factored out. So you can see I already have the work. Set x plus 3 equals 0, set x minus 5 equal to 0. So for this, you're going to subtract 3 from both sides, which gives you negative 3 as a solution. And then the next one, you're going to add 5 to each side. You're going to get x equals 5 for a solution. So all these ones, the factoring techniques, you're going to see you're going to get a negative solution and a positive solution because the signs inside are mixed. Right? There's one that's a plus and there's one that's a minus. Okay, let's skip to the problems that aren't factored. Let's go to number 1. Now, good thing about number 1 and number 2, they're already set equal to 0. So I don't have to rearrange any terms. I'm just going to go right to factoring. So I see right away that there's a minus there. So that tells me it's going to be x plus. I'm going to have mixed signs and x minus. I know that right away. Okay, that's set equal to 0. Then 40, I'm going to list all my pairs for 40. I'm going to put it right up here. So I know 1 times 40 is 40. 2 times 20 is 40. Let's see, 3 doesn't go into it. 4 goes into it 10 times. Let's see here, 5 goes into it 8 times. Now, since this is a minus, we're asking ourselves, now this 3, we're going to say it's a difference, not a sum, because this is a minus. Which of these two factors give us a difference of 3? Well, this is going to work. 8 minus 5 is 3. Now, since this first sign is a plus, the bigger one, which is 8, 8's bigger than 5, that's going to go with the plus. And 5 is going to go with the negative. Okay, and if I wanted to check it, if I do positive 8 minus 5, that gives me positive 3. And then 8 times negative 5, that gives me negative 40. So I know that I'm good to go. And then this, I'm just going to go right to the answer. If it's x plus 8, then you're going to have negative 8 as an answer. And then this, if it's x minus 5, you add 5 to each side, you get 5 to be an answer. Okay, let's skip. Let's do number 3. Let's move up. Okay, so if we do number 3, I'm going to do number 3 and number 4. Now, number 3 and number 4, they're not going to be as nice as number 1. It's not set equal to 0. So this negative 1, that's a pain. To get rid of it, well, I have to do the opposite. I'm going to add 1. So that cancels out. So I have it set equal to 0. I'm going to add 1. I'm going to line it up with the like term. I can't add 1 to this x or to this x squared. So if I add 1 to that negative 3, I get negative 2. So this quadratic equation becomes x squared minus x, and this negative 3 plus 1 gives me minus 2. Okay, now I'm good to go. Now I can factor it. So let's see here. I'm going to start out with x for each because I have x squared. Now again, same thing. Since this is a negative, I'm going to have mixed signs, a plus and then a minus. Just put plus and a minus. Now to get all the factors for 2, well, the only factors for 2, that's a prime number. It's just 1 and 2. So this shouldn't be that hard of a problem. Now since this is a negative, that means the bigger factor has to be with the negative. And I know if I subtract these, 2 minus 1 is 1, and that's the coefficient there, 1 or negative 1. 2's the bigger one. Since this is a negative, 2's going to go right here, and the 1's going to go right here. So it's going to be x plus 1, x minus 2. Okay, and to check it, here's the quick check. Positive 1 minus 2 is negative 1. That's the coefficient for x. And 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. That's the constant. And then when we finish it off, well, if x plus 1 equals 0, x has to equal negative 1. If x minus 2 equals 0, x has to equal 2. So those are the two solutions, negative 1 and 2. Okay, let's do one more. For 4, we're going to add x to each side. That cancels. So it equals 0. I'm going to add x here. Now I want to put it in terms, I want to put it in standard form. So it's going to be x squared plus x minus 72. Okay, I see right away the last term, 72, is negative, so I'm going to have x plus and x minus. Okay, and then if I list the factors for 72, I'm just going to go right to the one that works, just to save time. 9 times 8, that's the one that works, because if I take the difference of 9 and 8, it gives me 1, or 1 is the coefficient for x. Now since 9's the bigger one, and this is a plus, 9's going to go here with the plus, 8's going to go with the negative. So it's x plus 9, x minus 8. And then we solve for it. Well, if you subtract 9, you get x to equal negative 9. If you add 8 to 0, you get x to equal positive 8. So these are the two answers. All right, so it's the same exact factoring techniques. If you're good with those factoring techniques, the only thing you have to do is get the quadratic equation completely by itself so it's set equal to 0.